Pickle never imagined that Baki's self-taught dinosaur fist could harness the combined might of a T-Rex, Triceratops, and Pteranodon. Facing just one was overwhelming enough, but now he was facing all three. The sheer terror left him drenched in a cold sweat. Sighting the opening, Baki lunged forward with his arms wide, grappling Pickle's arm and flipping his massive frame in an instant. The agony in his arm felt as if he were being bitten by a Tyrannosaurus. Before Pickle could even react, Baki unleashed a relentless barrage. Seeing that his opponent wanted a head-on clash, Pickle engaged without hesitation. Springing off a single leg, he leapt onto the arena wall, using his extraordinary body structure to achieve a 180-degree launch stance. As Pickle launched himself, he looked every bit the ferocious apex predator. Instead of retreating, Baki stood his ground with unwavering resolve. He intended to take Pickle's full-force collision head-on. Then, in a blinding flash of white light, Pickle was slapped away, sent hurtling toward the ceiling. The three observers in the stands were left utterly stunned. When asked why Pickle was sent flying so easily, Kaoru Hanayama explained that his forward momentum was so extreme that it became highly susceptible to even a slight lateral force, just as a single leaf fluttering in the wild can sometimes deflect the trajectory of a speeding bullet. This logical explanation is a bit too much even for me. And to thoroughly provoke Pickle, Baki deliberately marked his territory in all 8 corners of the arena. He wanted to prove to Pickle once and for all that the arena was now his domain. Enraged by the humiliation, Pickle lunged back in and raised his fists, slamming Baki into the ground with overwhelming force. The impact of that crushing blow warped Baki's very frame. After Pickle's relentless 2.5-minute stomp, Baki's entire body felt as if it were falling apart in this moment. He realized that against such overwhelming power, even a guarding arm becomes a fatal liability. Yet this is precisely why he sought this fight with Pickle, for only through this victory can he hope to challenge Yujiro. Having reached enlightenment, Baki transcends his physical limits. Facing Pickle's torrential barrage of attacks, he evades every strike with uncanny fluid grace as Baki dodges. His speed continues to escalate. Pickle's strikes seem to pass right through him, a sensation that reminds Pickle of chasing butterflies. The butterfly moves so slowly, yet it remains perpetually out of reach. This mounting frustration sends Pickle into a blind rage. He loses all reason and lashes out with wild, frenzied claws. However, Baki drifts between his hands like a ghost until finally, Pickle's spirit completely breaks. Baki sights the opening and delivers a blow with all his might. A cup of tea. Fine cup. Ever since Pickle preyed upon the female reporter, all the martial artists seem to have reached a tacit understanding. Every battle must involve a groin attack on Pickle. Over time, he has almost grown accustomed to the pain, but this full-powered strike from Baki sends Pickle spinning like a human windmill from the sheer agony. It seems no matter how tough a man is, the groin remains the ultimate vulnerability. Baki's dirty fighting tactic has completely enraged this prehistoric beast. Pickle leashes his final form at the same time. A diagonal line manifests across his torso. Upon closer inspection, it is a massive skull. Judging by the shape and scale of the mark, it was undoubtedly carved by the jaws of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This means Pickle once escaped certain death from the jaws of a T-Rex. However, the shock Pickle provided was far from over. As he realigned every joint in his body, his entire frame surged in size once again. Every muscle hardened like steel in that instant. In a flash, he swung a ferocious punch at Baki. The overwhelming force blasted Baki back 2.5 meters. Unbelievable, even a full power strike from Pickle wouldn't send the much smaller Baki flying. A confident Baki told him this is what you call technique. Humanity has spent 200 million years honing these martial arts. While his raw strength and speed may not match Pickle's yet, he can rely on technique to fight on equal footing. At this moment, Baki recalled his grueling training. Those hard-won skills were now his greatest support. Just then, Pickle's fist came rushing toward him. But in the next second, he took a heavy counterpunch from Baki. Baki skillfully pressed his offensive using pure technique. Unpredictable strikes left Pickle unable to mount a defense. Before he knew it, he had been cornered by Baki. It was then that Pickle realized his proud strength and size were utterly vulnerable against such skill. Driven to desperation, he resorted to instant movements, trying to use pure speed to evade Baki's pursuit. But he never expected Baki to keep up with his pace.
He can't stay so much skin fuck. And just like that, Baki used advanced martial arts to bridge the massive gulfing power between them.
With victory clearly within his grasp, Baki made a shocking decision. He approached Pickle with tightly clenched fists. It turns out he wanted to settle this through a raw contest of physical strength. Soon the sheer difference in their power was laid bare before everyone. Ultimately, Baki could no longer hold out and ceased his resistance. With a powerful over-the-shoulder throw from Pickle, Baki was slammed violently onto the ground. Though Pickle emerged victorious, he was consumed by the terrifying sensation of defeat. Gazing at the shattered tooth in his hand, he dejectedly walked out of the arena. The two martial artists who witnessed the duel offered their own interpretations of the outcome. In the eyes of Retsukayo, Pickle's overwhelming strength gave him the upper hand, so he considered Pickle the true winner. However, Hanayama Kaoru believed that despite Baki's physical disadvantage, he had easily suppressed Pickle using his superior technique. Had he not insisted on challenging Pickle with raw power, he would undoubtedly have been the one to win this battle. News of Baki's defeat at the hands of Pickle quickly spread throughout the world. The global community was forced to decide on the prehistoric man's ultimate fate. The doctor argued that Pickle should not be returned to the rock formation, as that would only pass the burden on to future generations, but others felt that Pickle was far too dangerous. It insisted on sealing him away forever, with neither side willing to back down. It was decided that 1 billion people worldwide would vote on whether Pickle should remain in modern society. Ultimately, the motion was vetoed by a narrow margin of just 10 votes. This decision left the doctor frustrated by such collective ignorance, just as he was preparing to return to the research institute. A Tyrannosaurus Rex suddenly crashed before him, followed by Pickle descending from the sky.
Ovary, tu kaim kirena, mesh